Welcome back to 1d8 plus 1 the Lunar Orbs, Tiger Owl, Second City, and Dimming's Sage, Block 9. Reason why I include W. Dimming's statistics is because a lot of this is solved by statistics or analyzation through statistics. Okay, I shouldn't say solved. Classified through statistics might be another way of saying it. Or really just looking at numbers might be kind of an over-the-top way of saying it. But we're going to look at some numbers. Okay. Today's number that we're going to study on page 56 of the Player's Handbook is the spell difficulty. And to learn, prepare, or cast a spell, the wizard must have an intelligence score equal to at least 10 plus the spell level, intelligence 10 for 0 level spells, intelligence 11 for first level spells, and so forth. The difficulty class for a saving throw against a wizard spell is 10. And right now we saw a number, or we see a number right there. So I'm going to take a marker here, I'm going to put that, and that's going to be 10. And now we're going to use this here, that's the start or base 10 here. Now, when they say the start is 10, what they're saying is that instead of starting at 0 here, we're going to start at 10 like that. And that's where it's going to start, on a number line. And that's a number line. Okay. And here. Now we've got 10. So we're going to take here and put that here. And that's going to be 10. And now we've got our boxes added here on this side. So on a D10, we normally use a 0 over there. But some like to physically see the 1 in front of it. And so that's going to be a 10 right then and there. I guess we can leave that to the side here. Now, that's 10. And then this plus here acts as a line break. So we're going to go to the next number, which is the spell level. And with the spell level, you read it at once. But right here is a space. And this cork here is a space in between the word. So this is the first word, the second word, and then the spell. If you want to think of it in terms of A, B, and C, there's A, and there's another capital letter in it, or for the level, a space. So it's starting, the space is indicating a line break, which means there's another word in there. And then that's going to be C, which is the spell level number. Now, put those back, that back, and that's what it said for B was the spell level here. So we're going to put that here, and that right in there. And that's the spell level. Okay, now we're going to get the book, and we're going to read color spray off of page 210. So we just came on here. I don't know if I can pull that off. And we just came from page 56, and there's 56. There's the top. There's class skills, class features, weapons, spells. First indent, to learn or prepare or cast a spell, the wizard must have an intelligence score equal to at least 10 plus a spell level, intelligence 10 for 0 level spells, intelligence 11 for first level spells, and so forth. The difficulty class for a saving throw against a wizard spell is 10 plus the spell level. Difficulty class is an acronym, without saying it too fast. See if I can do that. There's difficulty. That's class. First letter is highlighted there. And that's the first letter, and that's D That's D and C, I guess, like a hangman game. A hang person game. And so that's DC, or the DC is equal to the difficulty class. And it's right here on page 56. That is my lead, Displacer Beast. And that is the difficulty class for a saving throw against a wizard spell is 10 plus the spell level plus the wizard's intelligence modifier. Now we're back on page 210. We're trying to find in the PHP, and that's revised. We're trying to find color spray's level. Color spray, illusion pattern, mind affecting level for the sorcerer class or the wizard class is the number 1. So we're going to take that and going to, that's a number that matches that 1 on the end. That's this level. That's level to level, and it's a 1 that's going to go right there for color spray. And here, saving throw is will negate, and that's off of page 177 here. If they make their saving throw, that's 177, that's negate, and that's 177. Spell has no, so that's a 0, and the spell has no 0 effect. So if they make their saving throw off of page 135, saving throw, there's a will saving throw. They make their will saving throw, then the spell will equal 0 for the player character. It will not affect them. And it said make a will saving throw to make it 0. Okay, now back to here. And we have base 10, and now for B we have spell level on here. There we go. And that's B, letter B, and then break from that. That's spell level. Just try to think of the pluses as break lines. I know they're not, but it helps to break up the equation form and to understand what, analyze what's in the algorithm or formula. Really in the proceedings of the difficulty class. And so the spell level was 1, and we're going to take that 1 and we're going to spell level of 1. And now that's 10 plus the spell level, break, the wizard's plus the, which is like a break, the wizard's intelligence modifier. So intelligence modifier here, and that is modifier, and this is spell level. And we have 1, 2, 3 pegs, and that's A, B, and C. And let's see, can we do that? And that's 1, and that is 2, and using a number line, that's a guide. We used number 1 already, and we used number 2. Next number up is 3, so we're going to use number 3 and put that on top. So we have 3 components to our formula or proceedings, to our difficulty class. 3 components to our difficulty class, and it's the base, the spell level 1, and the intelligence modifier. We go here, and that is 1, 2, and 3. And we had 10 here from there, and that's 1. Now intelligence modifier starts with this word here, starts with an M, and we're going to go and match our score with the M in the chart. So score starts with an S, even though it's got a point similar to it, and there is an M. So first we're going to go top to bottom. The top has a score of 1, and the bottom has a score of 44 to 45. We're going to find a 14 of 15. So we went from top to bottom. Now we're going to go from side to side. And that's 14 of 15, a space, and a plus 2, starting with an M, the M that we're looking for in modifier. So we have a 2 modifier. And we're going to put that 2 right there with the modifier. Now we're going to add all those together. So here, the difficulty class for color spray from a wizard is, now we're going to take these numbers off here, and we're going to take this here, that's A, and we're going to add A and B together, and that's 10. And that's 1 from the base and the spell level. Okay, so we've got 10 plus 1, 10 plus 1 equals 11. So we're going to do that, get another die, one particular dice. And we're going to find, on this one, we're just going to use a D20, and we're going to find an 11 on it, and that's here with the triangle, that's an 11. Okay, now we did A and B, but we left C behind with the 2 on it, so we're going to take A and B together, and together the result was 11, and then we're going to bring that over. And now that is a 2 from C that we have to bring here. And put that together. And there's a 2. And now we're going to add that together. And that's 11 plus 2 equals 13. So we have a 13 result for the difficulty class. Like so. And that's 13. Okay, now we're going to take this here, take this here, take this here, take those out. I'm going to need another sheet. I'm going to need a versus page. So now, like a fraction, this is A over B. You do a proportionality, and that's going to be a variable here over here, and that's going to equal out of this A and this B, that's going to be the difficulty class of the spell, and I guess you can say that's from the DM or from the adventure. And this is going to be the player on the bottom. And the player's save is what's going to come in there. Now we did this is the difficulty class, and we just calculated the difficulty class to be 13. Now that is right there, and that goes on top. Now on the bottom, we're going to go back to page 135, and we had a color. Oh, better go back to page 210. Put this down, and we're going back to 210, and here, that's color spray, and a will save to negate color spray. So if you make your will save, you can make it go to 0. So we're going to go back to page 135 on here. My PHP is fairly older. Put that back together here. And yep, definitely an momento. And let's see here. Por favor. And yeah, like Spanish 1 and 2 in high school. Yeah. And Rosetta Stone. So maybe one day. That's will saving throw. That's a D20. So now its first mention in its break is that we did a D20. So we're going to put a D20 in there. And like so. And go green with the D20 there. And we have one component in the player save. So we're going to put a D20 on the bottom. Like so. The next component from the line break of the plus is just going to swing the next word after the space right underneath the D20 and put base underneath D20. And the base save bonus, which I'm going to get into at some point, the base part is just another substitute word here for another variable word, which is equal to chart. So when you see base, they mean chart. And then on kind of a cleric without doing fighter, because I'm trying to work my way back to a salted build of the cleric into a combat medic and radiant servant and paylor as a demonstration of a heal bot. So one day we'll get closer to that video. That's first level. That's 0 base attack bonus. That's 2, 0, 2 turn rebuke undead. 3 1+1 second, third, fourth spells. And hold on here. Can I bridge that? That's cleric to spells right there. So cleric spells. But right now we're looking for a will save to make the spell go to 0 on a color spray, and their chart one has 2, which is the base. So we had 2 here. I'm going to go ahead and just use this here, and that's B, and our B component is 2, and there we go. And now we're going to go back here. Let's see, to prepare cast a spell, cleric must have a wisdom score to do their spell, so they're going to have a 14 wisdom. And back to 135. From right here, our next break is wisdom modifier. So a 14 wisdom modifier, our C break, is also going to be a +2. So we're going to get a +2 from the wisdom modifier. We're going to put that there, and that's going to be 2. And we're going to double check that. 14 in AD&D without being Pathfinder, which is also a point-based system, would cost 5 points, and with 15 points remaining on point expenditure. 14 of 15, and there's your +2 modifier. Also giving you a bonus first spell and a bonus second spell for casting on page 32 here, which is fairly complicated. There's deities, and underneath deities is aura on page 32 with spells, and there's the next indent to prepare. Like other spellcasters, a cleric can cast only a certain number of spells of each spell level per day. His base daily spell allotment is given on table 3.6, the cleric. In addition, he receives bonus spells per day as if he had a high wisdom score. See table 1.1, ability modifiers and bonus spells, page 8. That's page 32. And this is page 8. And that's table 1.1, ability modifiers and bonus spells for the cleric. Now, in that, so they do with their 14 and 15 get a bonus 1 and 2 spell, and they get a +2 modifier. And we added that to our last piece there. So now, versus color spray with a difficulty of 13, the player can make a 24 check to overcome and send that spell to 0, unless they use on page first level here, character, their first feat to do a domain or granite power or a character feat, and that character feat is Iron Will on page 97 in the player's handbook. You get a +2 bonus on will saving throws. It's down after investigator, and but they could do that, or if we can add more here, that is the dwarf, and that's dwarf racial trait, and then stone cunning right there, weapon familiarity, and stability, +2 racial bonus against poison, +2 racial bonus on saving throws against spells. And color spray is a spell, so if they were dwarf, they would get another +2 bonus on top of that and go to 26, or with Iron Will go to 28. Unless they took an 18 wisdom, which would have a 4 modifier, and that would be another 2. That would provide another 2 higher wisdom modifier from 2 to 4, so then they would go to 30 against a difficulty class of 13, and that would beat that by 17 to negate or to make color spray's effect of stun rounds go from 8 rounds to 0 rounds. Okay? And that is how you do the spell difficulty for a spell for a wizard off a player's handbook right there on page 56. And that's page 56, and that's difficulty class, and that was our working of the sheet to produce the formula. Thanks for listening, and have a great one out there.